So I am with a vocal legend. I am with Robin McAuley. There are so many things that I want to start with because we're going to get into talking about your third solo record, which is coming in February. So we'll talk about that. But I want to start by saying when I first became a fan with McAuley Schenker, and I was like, oh my gosh, love this band. Just a sign of the times with so many great tunes like Anytime and Give Me Your Love. But I always thought if I ever have the opportunity to talk to Robin, I have to ask him, how did you get Michael Schenker to put your name first on that project and not
Oh
have you
Lord.
just be the vocalist? Did you ask? I would be afraid to
Oh,
ask
hell
Michael
no.
Schenker
No,
anything.
no.
So,
No, you don't ask.
no, right?
Well, man. So I didn't ask. No, I did not ask.
So he thought of that.
Oh, that was entirely his idea.
Wow.
I mean, it's an old story, but I knew Michael, not personally, but we were stablemates. We were all on Chrysalis Records. I was with my band Grand Prix out of London at the time,
Yep.
and they came to see me perform with Grand Prix, and we were the very next day we did a warm-up show in London. The very next day we were leaving to do the standing Hampton tour with Sammy Hagar. So we were the opening act for that. And Michael came down to the show. Chris Glenn was on bass at the time. Andy and I was playing keys, who was also played on George Michael's Faith album.
Wow.
And
What a
the great,
band.
the great and late Cozy Powell
Oh, God, yeah.
was also in the house. And anyway, long story endless. I get a call the next morning from Cozy's people. Hey, we're rehearsing, and Michael would really like you to come down to the studio because we need a singer. And I went, shit, I can't do that. I'm leaving for tour. No, you have to do it. And I went, and I said, I just can't jump ship. Anyway, I didn't. I got a lot of really bad press. Who the hell does this Irish upstart think he is?
Is that true?
Oh yeah,
Oh, wow. You were
oh
getting it,
yeah,
huh?
yeah. I was getting it. I was getting it. 4 years later, I'm in a band out of Frankfurt, a studio project with Bobby Kimball, um, who was no longer in Toto. And the producer of that, Frank Farian, who passed away last year,
Oh, yeah.
had the idea that we should do a remake of Stairway to Heaven. And we went, you can't do that, right? You can't do that. You can't do that. Well, we did it. And just in the UK alone, in 85, oh my God, we sold over like 2.5 million records or something just on the single alone. And then the album did great and blah, blah, blah. Rudolf Schenker, point in case here. Rudolf Schenker heard it on the radio and he goes, Michael, I think maybe this guy. And I think Michael's reply was, oh, I approached him 4 years ago and he wasn't interested. I doubt if he's interested now. So they tracked me down doing my promo stuff and invited me into Hanover. And I refused again. I went, I'm not interested.
Wow.
I'm just not interested. It just wasn't my thing. And they were all in a different place that I wasn't in that same place.
Yeah.
And anyway, obviously I did. I went to Frankfurt. They had my schedule. They knew exactly when I had a weekend break. I went in on a Friday. I sang almost all night Friday night. I sang all day Saturday and a little bit on Sunday morning. And I went back. I was living in London at the time. And about, I don't know, maybe 4 days, something later, I get a call from Michael. And he said, Robin, you were the last of 17 singers. And I went, oh, so I was really popular. And
Wow.
Klaus and Rudolph and the management, and his management at the time was a combo of like Scorpions and Aerosmith and David Krebs out of New York.
Yep.
And
Yep. Sure.
yeah, right. So he said, we all got together and you're the guy. We would really like you to be the new singer. But there's a small change. He says, I know we were talking about the MSG logo and you were saying how much you like it. That just sits here and the jacket's open, but you can always see the logo and it's one of your favorite logos. And he goes, what a strange thing. Phil Mogg with UFO, M with Michael Schenker, M with McAuley. What a great idea. And I went, I don't know where this is going. And he goes, McAuley Schenker. That's what
Wow.
I want a partner. I want you to be my
I
partner.
want a partner, he
Yeah,
says. Wow.
it's not just the singer. I want you to be my 50-50
Yes,
partner.
Michael Schenker, like this is a big deal. Wow. Wowza.
I said, this is just a nightmare. This would go very, very wrong.
This
I
is a
did.
nice.
Yeah, I said it would go very, very wrong. Too complicated. MSG, Michael Schenker Group, whatever you want to call it, is established. If it works, don't fix it. And he goes, no, 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 we thought about it, and this is what I would like. So this is what I'm offering you. Please say yes, blah, blah, blah. Well, it was very confusing. The name got changed. Everybody would go, dude, how did you pull that off? I didn't actually pull anything off.
That's what I thought. Is Michael Schenker. But look, those records were they were such timestamps. The first time I saw you, I think, was on maybe
Our
Headbangers Ball
headbangers
or
ball, oh my God,
yeah, the
really?
Headbangers Ball. You were the one doing the talking, you know. Uh,
Michael said, I play guitar, you will
yeah,
talk.
he didn't say anything, but
I'm
I
not
remember
saying
that. Yeah.
anything. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to sit here and play, and you say whatever you want.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
And
you were great
well,
representing this
I
outfit.
don't know what. Thank you. I don't know. It was all new to me.
But great songs. Look, you guys got together and you guys made some great songs. Those songs were big and chunky and melodic. I read too that you had said that you really loved, you were a fan of kind of that arena, that big arena sound. And that's kind of where
Well,
your vocals are. You're in that pocket of, I think,
I like
the Paul
melody. I like
Rogers, the
melody
Glenn
and hook line.
Hughes, the
Yeah.
Paul Rogers, the Glenn Hughes, the Steve Marriott's, just that amazing rock sound.
I can't live up to that.
But you are. I mean, but you are. And I think that you're also somebody who has come through the years, and it's very hard for vocalists to do this. Um,
I'm
Unblemished. You sound so amazing.
thank you.
Now, you must did you take great care of your voice, of your instrument? Because you sound phenomenal. There are certain people, like I went to a Living Color show and I was listening to Corey Glover and I thought, Jesus, he sounds better now than he sounded then. There are certain people that just that timbre gets better, and you're fortunate for that. You're one of those guys.
You got to take care of it.
Yeah.
It's all I have. It's all I have. So if I if my plan is to continue using it, and I have so much fun doing it anyway. So I still love what I do. So I suppose that's the first step.
This is a
Um,
good time for you because
yeah,
you're doing what you want to do. I mean, people know you from MSG, for people Grand Prix, your first band you talked about, Black Swan, that
that
you were
new
in.
Black Swan just
Do
finished. I just finished uh,
awesome.
all my parts on the next Black Swan.
Oh, that's great.
So that'll be 6 records in total with Frontiers. So the
That
three.
is
Well, yeah. So yeah.
wild. Yeah, super wild. Now you've got February 28th,
Yeah.
Soulbound comes out. Talk to me about putting this record together because I would imagine when you doing solo records are choosing, say, a producer,
Yeah.
you have to find somebody. Your vocals are front and center. There's a very guitar record though.
Yes, it is.
I've heard a lot of it, very, very guitar driven, that masterful sound of your vocals and that guitar, right in the pocket together. So when you're choosing somebody who puts the frame on all of this, how do you got somebody new now? How do you know this
Um,
person is going to work well with you?
so working with Frontiers, they have their guy, and their guy for many years was Alessandro Del Vecchio, also the keyboard player with Hardline, and he also has his own band, Edge of Forever. So Alessandro was always my go-to guy because he's the in-house guy. Um, and so we had selected about 12, 15 songs to start working on. And I love my guitar player on Standing on the Edge and Alive. I have a huge amount of time for Andreas Silve, so I just love his melody, love his
Yeah.
way, his tone. He's my guy. And so I discussed it with Alessandro, and I said, I really want to push this to the front this time. I really want to go guitar heavy on this one, more than the previous two, and I just really want to highlight him a lot more. And then about midway, Alessandro leaves the label, and now I'm on a Zoom call with the label going, what's going on?
Now what? Yeah.
And so enter Aldo Linobile, who's now the new Frontiers in-house guy. Also himself a great, great guitar player. So we sat and we talked, and to put his stamp on it, he goes, I don't know about these 4 or 5 songs here. I want to introduce you to some new songs. One of those new songs was Soulbound,
Mm,
which I really liked. Didn't
yeah.
write this one. This was written by two Swedish writers, Teresa Persson and Jan Ackerson. And I wasn't crazy about the demo, but there was something about it that I really liked. And I said to Aldo, I think I'd like to re-record this and see what I can do with it, put my stamp on it. And he goes, have at it. So I did, and I got it back, and he goes, wow, this is now your song if you want it. And I said, and I really like the title of the song, and I'd really like to go the whole hog here and use it as an album title.
Make it my album. Yeah, yeah.
He said, that's over my head. I'm not done yet. I would know. Let's do the writing first. So I was already down the road, and then I took 3 or 4 other songs, rewrote them, and they made it to the record. And Aldo did an amazing job.
Yeah. And you do an amazing job, not just singing. There's the delivery of a song. Somebody has to deliver a song in a different way than just having it be a vocal. And, you're kind of an expert at that. You're
Well,
great with being that lyrical guy.
I have, I guess my own way of phrasing. As Jeff Pilson, when I walk into the studio with Black Swan, Jeff goes, "Well, what's the story today?"
Is that true? Yeah.
There's always a story. What's the story today? And he goes, "Where do you get this shit?"
Yeah, well, Pilson knows he's always working with great vocalists. He's the guy. He works with a lot of really great vocalists, so
Pilson
he
knows.
knows.
He knows.
Yeah,
Pilson
yeah.
knows. And he's amazing to work with. And not to digress, but this third Black Swan record is awesome. I think it's a great record.
I've spoken to him, I think, in every cycle of every Black Swan record. I've had him
Funny.
on this
Yeah.
feature, and he's just so great at representing and so passionate. And here's what I love too. I think that you guys are doing like some of your best work now.
No, I know.
When you're rewinding and you're thinking about that, did you think, 35? I don't even like to age because I've been at my radio station forever. I mean, people say, I listen to you
Congratulations on
years and
that.
years and years and years. And I go, I don't even want to know how many years. But did you think, in the early times that you would be really hitting your stride, now? And there's got to be a certain freedom to it too that I think you probably feel, which I think makes for better
Yeah,
creativity.
that part I enjoy because a lot of people go, "Hey, how was it in the MSG days?" And I went, we were kind of put into this framework of write something that's going to make it on American radio because Michael didn't have quote unquote daytime US radio. And so they wanted the sort of the Def Leppard, the White Snake, the Jovi,
Yeah, the videos, all
all
that
the
stuff. Yep,
all
big
of that
big
sort of stuff.
stuff.
And if you didn't have the song and if you didn't have the video, you didn't get the tour. It's like, duh, you know. And so you
The
had to have
machine. It was the
yeah,
machine.
the
The
machine. You had to
machine
have your
never
MTV,
stopped.
you had to have your VH1, and it was like,
Yep.
what are we supposed to do here? Write by numbers, or whatever.
Yeah.
And you never knew. You just kept writing, and some hit the floor and never got back up. And the A&R guys would go, I think this one is it, and I think this one. It's like it was almost they took it out of your hands almost. You just so anyway. I'm glad that sort of period is over. The whole garage band, they're not really garages. But
Garage is in your mind. Garage is in your
you're
mind.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
but the big labels are not as big and important as they were then. We do it completely different now, and
yeah,
and
yeah.
and
And
we
it's
do it the
nice.
way.
It's nice to see longevity for people. It's nice to see people
Yeah,
doing their best work. It's nice to see somebody like you putting a record out with 11 tracks on it. You can tell a story, you can sequence the record. I speak with artists a lot. Some people are like, I'm going to do a couple singles. Other people are like, nope, I want a record. I want to tell a story. I want to take people on a journey. Sequencing is very important to me.
yeah.
Talk to me about your mind space around that, being the storyteller kind of that
Well,
you are.
the first thing I do anyway, we put all the songs together. We just put them together, and it's just a bucket of songs. And then you go, now what do I do? What goes first? What doesn't go first? Where do I put this one? And you're right, there has to be some sort of a thread, a flow, not a concept by any
Mhm.
stretch of the imagination. I'm not really big on all of that. And if that was to happen, it would be coincidental. It wouldn't be something that I set out to plan. And honestly, when I listen to each piece of music, so many times that it drives me nuts. Sometimes I hear it, and sometimes I have to walk away, and I come back to it for a week because I'm going, I have absolutely no idea what to do with this.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I write a lot in my sleep. Actually, it probably sounds like it.
In your sleep, where
Yeah.
you actually get the best ideas then.
Oh,
And
I
talk
get,
to
I
me
get.
about making them visual because I love, you're always doing videos with all your projects too. Do you still enjoy doing videos? The video for Till I Die is very, very cool from this record. Super cool. You're like, Mr. Swashbuckling
Cowboy,
cowboy
cowboy.
guy.
Yeah.
Is that that's you? So
You
so
know,
do you love that process? Is that process
yeah,
still fun for you?
I hate performance videos. I hate, okay, up on the stage, so here's the camera rolling. I hate that.
Yeah.
I know I've done a trillion of them, but I hate doing them. So this one, um, the photographer and the videographer will go, so I've got some ideas. And I went, I've got some ideas. Can I just shoot mine out the gate first and then blah, blah, blah. And I said, no performance. I don't want to do a performance on this one. And I said I was listening to Motorhead Ace of Spades the other day, and I said I started channeling that sort of that the dirty cowboy look that they had on the
Yeah.
cover. And Filthy was a really dear friend of mine. I played in a band with Filthy and Brian Robertson after they left Motorhead. So, and I said I'm just sort of channeling my 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 Filthy Taylor look here, And they went, "What's that?" And I went, sort of the dirty outlaw, sort of, wear the hat. And they're going, dude, that the hat's not really you. And I'm going, well, just,
I
whatever.
love it. Yeah, and
And
I didn't think of that. That
yeah,
is very
yeah.
it's a filthy animal. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
I
that's what
got
I
it
was trying to
now.
do. And I said, we need to go out into the desert somewhere. And I said, I'm being chased by what? I have no idea. And I said, where am I going? I have no idea where I'm going either. So, but I'm running somewhere, and I'm probably never going to get there, and I might never get caught, but I might. And so I'm going nowhere. So it's a kind of I wanted a sort of a Quentin Tarantino sort of like, dude, that's a little weird. Does this actually go anywhere?
I love it. You accomplished it. You
Yeah, I
absolutely
wanted to leave it,
accomplished it.
leave it hanging, and we had a great location, and we stayed there all day till it got dark. Went into the cabin, we kept it sort of, And I went, the only performance you get out of me is when I'm sitting on that damn chair, wandering around the cabin, singing to somebody, but I will not be singing directly at the camera with a microphone. And we loved it. As time went on, we just had so much fun with it,
Yeah, you can tell. You can tell that chemistry was there and it looked like you were
And it
having a
was
really good
windy
time.
as hell, like it is right now. And
Yeah.
I kept losing my hat, and they kept chasing the hat across the field. And that's just how we went for it.
Yeah.
I think the song needed something like that, and I was happy when we got it done.
Yeah, and I love these songs. I mean, I've just been streaming it. I got the early copy because I knew that we were going to be chatting, and it's like one just kind of flows into the next, flows into the next. There's that beautiful melody. It's still a heavy record, and it's got that classic rock sensibility. I like to say like fresh but familiar, where it's got a real nice fresh sound to it. But super
Very
familiar. Your vocals are, when I hear these amazing vocals from people that I'm a fan of, mentioned the Paul Rogers of the world. And what is it about Irish vocalists too that I love so much? What is it about you guys? When you were a
yeah.
kid growing up, who was your first rock? What was your first rock epiphany? Was it Phil? Was it Thin
It-
Lizzy?
no, actually, it was Motown. I
Motown.
Motown, Four Tops, Drifters, Temptations, all of that stuff. I would listen to that. I still do
Yeah.
relentlessly. When I'm
Yeah.
cleaning the house, the Temptations are
It's the
on,
best. It's, they don't call it
and
soul music for nothing.
it was good then, and it's great now.
Yeah.
And I I saw Thin Lizzy um, when I was 12 years of age,
Wow.
and there was only less than 20 people watching them.
Wow. Was
And I went,
was Phil shining his
well, it
bass on the
was,
ladies in the audience? If there were
well,
three ladies, they got the
is
bass
there any
shined
of the
on them.
girls? Is there any of the girls like a bit more Irish?
Wow.
Um, he was great. It's talking about storytellers. There's a man that could tell a story and
Yeah.
sing it and make you believe it, and just amazing. Um, Only a three-piece. Eric Bell was on guitar, so that's going back a hair.
Love that. Oh,
Brian Downey on drums, and the Whiskey in the Jar had just come out.
And you were 12. What goes
Wow.
through a 12-year-old kid's mind when they're
Um,
watching Phil and this power trio on stage that is Thin Lizzy? I mean, that is just, it's mind-blowing to me to even think about that.
what's going on is like this is great.
Yeah. That
This
had to
stuff.
be an epiphany for you as a kid, though. Like, oh, if I can do this, I
Yeah.
will be
When I
happy
wanted to
forever.
see Lizzie, I couldn't get within, I think, 5 miles of where they were playing because there was just so many people. But I did see them on the Live and Dangerous tour at Wembley Arena, and
Oh,
that was awesome.
you're
That was
killing me
pretty.
now.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was awesome. I even saw Genesis as a support band when they had Foxtrot with the fox head and the red dress, and they were
Wow.
opening up for a Scottish band called Lindisfarne. Check them out.
Wow.
And now, of course, that flip flop, when he left, and then Phil Collins is now the singer, and you're going, what just happened? And
Yeah. Who is this band? Yeah, absolutely.
it was just so amazing. Um, and of course, Peter Gabriel went out to do even more amazing stuff. So there was lots of different influences. Getting back to the Motown, I just loved Motown until such a time that I heard Paul Rodgers, and I'm going, wait, 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 this white guy here singing with all of that soul and memorable hook lines, and I'm going, oh my God, this is huh? And then Paul Kossoff, I'm going, wow, did you just hear that? And none of my friends were into that sort of music. None of them. None of them. They were going thinking, what's your problem? Listen to country music.
Country music. Robin, when did you know you could sing?
Oh,
When did you
so
know that you had great
so,
vocals?
Terry, so this is the truth. Okay, so let's cut all the other stuff out. It never was. I started playing drums. I wanted to be a great drummer, and I absolutely sucked. And I used to do background vocals, playing drums. And the singer in the band, local band, fancied himself also as a drummer in addition to being a singer. And so he'd go, "Can I play drums on this one?" And you step out and instead of doing background job, why don't you take the lead vocal? And I went, I don't know the words of the songs. And he goes, yeah, you know a couple of songs, just sing those songs. And I would step up, and then the band would go, stay out front. You're a much better singer.
You're better. You're better.
And and
Wow.
and I didn't want to do it because I just didn't want people looking at me and that sort of stuff. I'm
Yeah.
not really a front man. And I continued to do background vocals and didn't get anywhere playing drums and ended up in London. And I think I had my first beer at 19. I was a late comer to the party
But
as
you
an
saw
Irish.
Thin Lizzy at 12. So to me,
I
that's
did,
you were
right?
far ahead of the curve.
Right.
Who cares
So
about the beer?
yeah. So I ended up on a stage in this local Irish pub in London, and 2 years later, I'm still on that stage. And then I got approached by a guitar player and a bass player who turned out to be the guys with Grand Prix, and off you went.
And
And that
off
was
you went.
and that was off to the races. And
And off you went.
and
Wow.
all right,
And the third solo record is coming out on February 28th. It's called Soulbound.
yes,
It's such an amazing piece of music, too. If you're a rock fan, you've got to check it out because you will love it. It brings you kind of back to that feeling of, gosh, this makes me feel good. There's nothing better than listening
you
to
feel brand new.
melodic guitars and amazing vocals,
Very, very kind. Thank you so much.
that mesh so well together. Um, and this record has it. This record has it.
I'm
February
enjoying it,
28th.
and thanks to you at WDHA 105.5. You guys are huge support, and I
Yeah,
appreciate
always, always.
you.
We are a rock station for close to 50 years.
Come on.
And we've been really, really, really lucky. And so it's so amazing I call this feature Reconnect with Rockers, but it's lovely to be able to reconnect and connect with people. And yeah, when the Black Swan record comes out, I said usually, um, I have Jeff, but maybe this time around we'll get
I would
both of
love
you
that.
in. That would be
I
really
would love
fun.
that. I would love that, and then we can chew the fat about how we put that one together.
I
But
love it. I absolutely love it. Congratulations on a beautiful piece of music. And I want to say, please stay safe. I know that you are not far from everything that's going on in California, and
thank
thinking
you.
about you and praying for you and your family that everything is
Are so
okay
good.
for all of you.
Thank you. You're
And that
awesome.
I
Thank you
get
so
to
much.
see you in person soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Robin.
Have a great one. Bye.